Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Midnight Reviews. I am Travis Snell, and I'm joined by,
Fuzzball, Kirklin Patzer.
I am a completely different person, Dylan Muss.
The Swiss Village mascot, Taylor Field.
and I'm another different person, Travis Snell. I already did that. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, go check out all the stuff. Our links below that has everything we're doing as usual. The whole rigmarole. We got lots of stuff. Me and Dylan just did a good side quest. Well, we did it. We've cast a lot, but we have a side quest we did this week about Gamescom opening night live, and then we recorded a early out of mana, which you won't be looking for soon. Two Towers is on Patreon early. That should be dropping the next day or two. Return of the King's getting recorded next week. Tons of stuff. Those two gentlemen to my right when I'm looking at the screen, but really my left is are there talking about House of Dragons every weekend, so look out for that. And yeah, my trust told you're having lots of good stuff. Tiffil, where can they find that all?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse on our Facebook.
Yeah, links below of everything. Patreon. The more you support us, the more you get back. Ad-free, exclusive, early episodes, the whole shebang. Hell Manscape. Get 20% off and free shipping right now using that podcast code GVPOD. Kirk and Patzer, the Fuzzball. Tell me, what did you think of episode 2 of She-Hulk? I know last week you were talking about how much you hated it. It's the worst thing you've seen on Disney Plus. Is this also bad?
Well, I mean, if you actually listened to my thoughts last week, I was saying the way it ended, it had me optimistic going forward. And I think going to this one, I was just in a, I don't know, better headspace, like, knowing what to expect for this episode. And yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot more. I feel like there was still some things that I feel like were maybe explained just a little bit too conveniently and too quick. I'll get there in spoilers, but overall I think this was another fun episode with our following our
Jennifer
protagonist,
Walters.
Jennifer Walters.
You forgot the last name. I see what you
Yeah,
were
I
doing
did.
there.
You say
Jennifer
Fuzzball
Day.
now. That's easier, right?
Fuzzball. Yeah, exactly.
Fuzzball.
It's a great nickname. But no, I think she's still great. I think the CGI on her overall appearance is definitely just growing on me. This one, it definitely didn't bother me as much as last week. Hulk still looks fantastic in comparison to her. But yeah, no, overall, I think it was just another, I don't know, like good episode going forward. And yeah, it's not dragging me in the mud or anything. And yeah, I don't know. I'll just pass along there.
Another Dune situation for no. I'll pick up because where Kirkland is, because I pushed back a little bit last week. I feel on the opposite, where this week the CGI actually bugged me a little bit more. I thought there was quite a few shots. Specifically, there's not a big spoiler here. There's one moment where she's in a bar. I think it's in the trailer, and it looked bad then. Still looks bad here, where it's like it looks like the background of her in completely different location. She looks like a layer added upon that. And also, I don't know if they added these in because they just want some laughs and stuff like that, or they want to screw me over in the MCU draft, but that's fine. But the end, She-Hulk is in an end credit, and I feel like that CGI did not look good. There's something she's doing there. So for some reason, for me, last episode was stronger for that. But no, I'm a massive fan of the show right now. I'm not saying it's like a top 10, one of the best shows TV, but no, like what I want, it's hitting on. It's still funny. They're introducing side characters that I actually find are funny. We've had that happen so many times where we introduce side character, and whether it's supposed to be funny or likable, or the villain, they're just, like look at what was his name, Hayward from WandaVision, like people like that. And they introduce somebody where we're like, we're gonna get this, and there's some good one-liners there. I thought there's some good progression with Jen, and what I like so far is I don't know if they're gonna be able to keep this up for another 7 episodes, but it feels like we keep getting little nuggets of connecting to the larger MCU. You could still watch it on its own, but there's 2 things specifically where like, okay, that connects to something in the past, and that's connecting something in the future. So it feels like, yeah, you're following this journey with this new character, but also just getting a bunch of cool little updates on stuff. So yeah, another just knockout the home run, whatever. Great episode overall for She-Hulk, and I hope it keeps this pace. We have this happens a lot with MC shows where they start really strong, but I for some reason play this clip again on the finale. I don't see this having as harsh as a turn as the other ones, because I think the finale can be pretty low key, but again, you never know. So Taylor Field, the Swiss Village mascot.
Again, this episode for me, I shouldn't say again, I didn't say anything yet. This episode was just, it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it over last week's episode. And Yeah, like even though like it was a shorter episode, like you said, it just like before we went live, I was like they put in a lot of cool developing things in here that I really latched onto, and I feel like the shorter or this short episode just really made good use of its time with what they were trying to like present and show us, and it just really kept me captivated, and I appreciate that. I like how that we got to experience that because as much as there were, like you were mentioning, some larger MCU components, there were still some very humbling moments too that were just aiding like the development of our main character too in this, and it's nice just when you get like a good wholesome start to finish episode, which I feel like this was, and it delivered. And again, it just had some things that I was really just eating up and jiving with and getting excited about. So yeah, overall, I think that we're just moving up and progressing with these episodes, and I'm just getting more and more excited to see what comes along in next week's episode after watching today's episode. So yeah, definitely good. I will say too, the CGI that you mentioned, I'm definitely with you on that. I feel like the first scene where she appears as She-Hulk in this episode, like it stood out. I thought, there's something here that's different from last week, and then. Yeah, but it wasn't like that throughout the whole episode. Other sequences would show with her, and I thought, okay, well, it looks really good here. So I don't know. It's weird.
Dilmas, the other different person.
The other different person. I'm loving the show, man. It's going great so far. I am, of course, on the edge of my seat because Miss Marvel. I loved those first 2 episodes, and then after that, it was majorly downhill. So, I'm really hoping that this 3rd episode keeps it strong and just be consistent. Be consistent, and I will love this show a lot because everything's working for me. I'm laughing the whole way through. There's good connections to MCU stuff. I'm loving a lot of the characters here, side characters. I like the way the story's going. And yeah, it's a short episode, but like a lot happens, and I don't feel like it's rushed just because of the lighthearted tone of this. It makes it work. So yeah, I'm very much into this. I think the CGI is working better for me than it is for you guys for whatever reason. So that's a good thing as well. And yeah, I have a few kind of questions and thoughts on this episode. There's some interesting stuff in here. Yeah, I rewatched the first episode actually earlier today as Muds wanted to check it out, so we rewatched the first one, and like once again I was just laughing through a lot of it. Like it's really good. I'm really enjoying the show so far. So I hope it can stay consistent quality. Something they seem to struggle with, but please.
How'd
I'm
Muds
hoping
feel
for this
about
one.
it?
She really liked it as well. Yeah, she loved it. Yeah.
Yeah, just trash. Is it? What is this shit? This is the worst thing that's happened. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I this week I was watching the girls. First time Emily went back to work since the 3rd baby, Ellie. She doesn't have a name, but for some reason Logan requested watching She-Hulk, so we watched She-Hulk again. It was the weirdest
go.
thing. And then she tried to get it again today. I said no, there's a new episode coming tomorrow. You can wait. But she's liking She-Hulk, and she's a 3-year-old, so it's hidden and stuff like that. So I don't know what it is because lots of show they're just talking normally, but you know. It's doing its trick, but that sounds like it did the trick for us. So yeah, now we're gonna take our first ad break, and then we're getting into spoilers. So when we are back, if you've not seen the episode, get out of here. Come back another day. We'll be right back. And we're here. Let's talk about where do we want to start? We got actually, you know where we want to start. You know, because I feel like a long time ago, Taylor's smiling. I think you know where I gotta start because I gotta bring this all. I gotta bring this all the way back to our very first. Maybe it was our first retrospect. Was it? No, maybe not. But I can't. Was the Marvel retrospective our first ever retrospective?
Jigsaw, Marvel.
We could say it was our first.
Like
Anyways, so one of our biggest first ones was the Marvel retrospective. And I remember how excited me and Taylor were to get to 2008's Incredible Hulk, and we got there. Dylan was not the biggest fan, but one thing we had been talking about for a while is that Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, was coming back. And lo and behold, I wasn't expecting it in episode 2. Actually, I thought we might get a few more, but we got him. So I got to start with Dylan as the Emil Blonsky #1 fan. What did you feel about his use here? Obviously, he's not in it too much, but what do you think about the setup and what we got so far?
Yeah, it's interesting. We must have started that in 2017. I want to say maybe it was
For
16.
Infinity War, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been I guess it's been 5 years, and honestly, like my memory for that movie is like already completely gone. Like I do not. I could not
Perfect time to
tell you-
rewatch it with Muds.
Yeah,
she wants to
honestly,
see it.
Honestly, I probably should, but like my memory for it is so far gone that I can't even tell you my criticisms of Blonsky as a character anymore. I have nothing in my head anymore. I can't remember any of it. So I will say that the loose ties alluding to what happens in that movie, like obviously I can pick up on that. It's pretty straightforward. And so far, I'm liking the vibe of this character. I'm liking this laid back, almost like hippie turn for him. He's like just very laid back. He's writing his haikus. He's got several love interests. Then obviously there's kind of a twist at the end of the episode. We'll talk about that as well. But in terms of just the general demeanor of the character, I have no idea how consistent or inconsistent it is with that Hulk movie because it's been so long and I can't remember it. But I'm liking what we have here, and if it's just this same energy of character when he's in human form, then I think I'll be excited for that storyline as it goes throughout the season.
Well, it's severely inconsistent, but the reason why I think it works is because I feel like this
been a long
character.
time.
Well, it's been a long time, but they could also be putting on a front, right? Like what's revealed
Mhm.
in this episode. Like I love, like she takes on this case, and then, oh yeah, have you seen the news? To talk to your client? No, I haven't. And then boom, it's just him fighting in like some ground club and stuff. That's where whatever we're getting with Emil in the jail cell can be complete. Now, I don't think he's going to be as hardcore he was in the 2008 one because he was pretty jacked up, but that's why I liked the pitch as far as like I thought I was a good guy. And if you watch, because I'm a big fan of that one, if you watch the movie, they send him into the warehouse to take on Hulk. They don't tell him and his team what's in the warehouse. They say, oh, there's a thread in there, you gotta go take it out. He didn't know exactly what super
You're gonna be
soldier-
the next Captain America, is what they told him.
Yeah,
They
like,
sent him in.
it's funny, like it isn't a comedic way, but he does kind of have a case. Is like they lied to him on multiple fronts. He got put in this situation, and I do like that. I think he will be a bit more comedic, but I like that he could be kind of putting on a front as like, oh yeah, this is the good guy case, so I can get out, and then
Would he send a note to Hulk apologizing and stuff?
that's part of the front, though. That's
do you
a
think
long
he would go
con.
that far on the front?
Thanos spent about 20 years just looking for some stones, right? Emil Blonsky, all he has is himself in the cell. But maybe though that he gets some appreciation for Bruce because now he's been through, right? He spent years as Abomination as well, so maybe he does some appreciation for him.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor, you're a big Abomination fan. We were happy to see him in Shang-Chi. Are you happy to see him back here? Because like Dylan's saying, very different. He's very zen right now. He's dropping little jokes and stuff. Where in Incredible Hulk, he's amped up. He's ready to go. I want that.
Yeah, to be honest, after this episode finished, I was like, I gotta pop Incredible Hulk on. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
need to
know.
get into it. And
You had time for that?
Goddamn
What?
Disney Plus.
yeah. Yeah. But it just got me super pumped. I wasn't expecting it this episode. Like the score changed, and then all of a sudden, like we're going to the prison compound. Like, oh shit, we're gonna get him in here. This is great. And I thought we were gonna get the transformation scene happening here too. Totally okay that didn't happen. Obviously, it'll happen later on. But I love the dialogue and the engagement between the two of them, and just him with his haikus and his little booklet. It just really made me laugh. I got a kick out of me, and I'm excited to see where this goes. Using him as a humorous note totally works for me, and him just kind of being on that more like get a little piece of land by his seven. What do you call them? You referred to them as like his seven.
pals.
Yeah.
His
So-
pen pals.
I'm really
Jeez.
wondering,
who's
like-
writing to Abomination. Like,
Well, they
who's
made a note
people?
of mentioning that and emphasizing that. I feel like, okay, like 7 of them. Like, who do we know? Like, what characters are like these 7? Like, are they
No.
Eternals? Are they
The-
anyone
no.
important? Like,
No,
Eternals,
no.
yeah, all the Eternals.
They
They're
just
all
want to
sending notes
get
in.
with Abomination. I think they're literally just people. I don't think there's anything. There's no
Okay.
secret
I think it's
group or
just a
anything
joke.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. But no, I just think it's fantastic. I'm super jazzed by it. And yeah, like I said, he's humorous now, which is great. And him just being set up with going to the Fight Club and such, a parallel to like Shang-Chi, I think that's super cool. Knowing especially too now, like right spot on where this is in the timeline, I guess, to other Marvel projects. So that's always good. And yeah, I'm just, there's another note I wanted to mention.
Wait, actually,
Wow,
can we
I'm
jump on that? To be clear,
Mm-hmm.
this is like modern time, and this is just like
Yeah.
they just found this footage. This happened in the
2025.
past.
That's where it is. Yeah.
And the
So that-
but the
Ooh.
Shang-Chi thing like happened in the past. You're not saying
Yes.
that just happened in real time. when
Oh,
the
I
news
thought
was
this
breaking,
just
right?
happened and they were
Yeah.
just reporting
Well,
on it.
So too.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
you-
the footage just like rose to the public or something like that.
It honestly
That's the way
could
I
be
took
either
it.
way. It could.
Yeah.
I took it Dylan's way, but you guys might not be wrong that it could be happening concurrently with Shang-Chi. That might not be wrong because there's nothing to prove it's not, right? So I didn't think about that. That like it happens right away.
I guess the thing that would mess with that is potentially when we see Wong in
Mhm.
terms of is this before or after multiverse. I guess that would explain it to us, right?
Yeah, and we're still
Yeah.
getting, which is crazy because like I know we still got 7 episodes, but 7 episodes is this like smaller thing. Like we still got that Tinder episode, which I'm excited for. We still got Wong. We still got more of the Abomination. We still got Daredevil. So it's like, man, we got like some good stuff going on. But yeah, I imagine Wong will give us a clear picture of if that was in the past or if that is happening concurrently with Shang-Chi. Because I think other than Wong hopefully not doing anything too much, you could put it alongside Shang-Chi, and I don't see it fighting with it too much, like having any issues or something like that. So, Kirkland, were you happy with Abomination?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get it so soon. I think Tim Roth just like killed that whole performance, so that was fun to watch. I'm not like a super Blonsky defender like you two, but I liked him enough in the 2008 version. Um, but yeah, no, I feel like I didn't really suspect too much about like his performance. Like maybe just being a little sus, but like now that you brought that up, it does make a lot of sense, and it would make I don't know, like his whole situation a lot more interesting, but at the same time I'm just really interested in that dynamic between him and Wong. I feel like once that gets answered, I'll really know how I feel on the character. But yeah, no, this was really exciting. I like how it ended too. It was just a big old mystery on like, has he been bouncing in and out like for a while now, or is this just like the big escape that he did? So yeah, I'm excited to get some of those answers just cleared up. But overall, no, yeah, I thought it was great. I liked overall how Jen went from like at the start of this episode, like she kind of lost her job at like the DA's office or whatever she was doing there, and then by at the end of this episode, she like has her new position, and it just kind of fits that like she lost her old position because she like became a superhero, but then she got this new position which is like a superhero attorney position. So it was just like a good transition professionally, I guess, for lack of a better term, for her. And I like that overall shift. And I think it's fine that it happened like right away in episode 2, because like as you mentioned, Travis, there's already so many other things that we have to touch upon, like Daredevil, like Wong, all that other stuff. So I think the pacing overall with the show has been pretty good. And I should mention too, in this episode, I watched it actually on my big screen. Last time I just watched it on my desktop. So I'm wondering if that's why the CGI just looked a lot better having it on, I don't know, not so close to the monitor, but also just, yeah.
Question for you. So you mentioned that you like the transition between her old job and getting to the new job where she's kind of changing into She-Hulk. How do you feel about her being, I guess, not being able, because they made a note in this episode, I think, of her not being able to express her being like Jennifer Walters, like human self, really? It was just like, no, you got to be She-Hulk all the time. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it's something that probably won't last. Like there'll probably be at some point in the show where it's just like, I'm both, I'm Jen Walters and She-Hulk, and like that'll probably be a big like powerful moment for the character. So for right now, it's just okay. This is just one step in the road that we have to go on. I don't know. It didn't strike me too much further than that. I'm not sure.
What I was gonna say a while back when you're talking about Blonsky and some of the things, I'm just actually excited because now that they introduced, because I thought there was a chance, I knew Wong was in here. I thought there still was a chance they maybe never addressed the Shang-Chi thing at all. But I am glad that because this is a direct result, I just want to even hear why Blonsky is like fighting. Like, why does he choose to go out in these clubs? Like, I really want to know that.
I'm
So-
sure she'll ask him. Right?
But yeah, it's just to meet. Yeah, that's where he's picking up these 7 and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I think it's gonna happen. Just before the series started, I wasn't sure, but now that this is actual plot point again, ties to MCU, ties to Shang-Chi. Abomination was that. It's not just some throwaway now. It's one little scene in Shang-Chi, but now it leads to this whole storyline and She-Hulk. And yeah, I like what they're doing. I like. I do hope. I don't know if him and Bruce are going to get a scene. I'm going to say they'll get like one, but I do hope it's not just the haiku. But yeah, I like the ties. So she was like, oh, I don't know if I should do this. And they kind of just, it seems like a very shady place. Like Clay saying in the comments that I think there's a chance that she's representing more people on the bad side and she just needs a job. And that's where, Matt could come in and play some role there. But I liked the setup. I liked that it was just kind of because the guy, even though I really like the guy. I think his name was like Holloway or something. I don't know what it was, but he had some good one-liners. But it already feels like it could be like a little shady. I feel like at the end of the series, she's gonna maybe start her own firm. That's the way I feel it's gonna go. I don't know if she's rolling the money, but I feel like that's what's gonna this is still going to be not the greatest experience because, like Taylor's saying, they are still using her for just her appearance, which is good because she needed a job. At the same time, it's probably not exactly what she wants at this moment in time in her life.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be a fun thing for her to wrestle with in terms of that's not what she wants to do, but she's kind of limited in her options. And maybe that'll push her down another road that we could go down as well. But I honestly, I was curious for a bit because when they did the title card, attorney at law, they flipped the at law to attorney for hire. And I was like, ooh, are they doing a thing here where like they're going to flip the other part of it and next episode's going to be like hero for hire and they're going to go for down that route where she couldn't get a job in the lawyer world, so she's going down like the hero path. I don't think that's going to happen at this point, but I was thinking like afterwards they've talked so much about, this is a lawyer show, this is a lawyer comedy show, so like obviously they're going to go back down that road, but I was like, maybe they just said that all along and then they're actually going to go down this other road where it is more traditional superhero stuff. But I don't know. I think I was just going crazy in my head thinking about Daredevil and stuff like that. But kind of in that realm of thought, I guess I didn't realize in the first episode that we are in LA for this stuff. So what do you guys think's happened there? Like, is she gonna go to New York? Is Daredevil just gonna be chilling in LA? Like, how is that gonna work in this show?
For Taylor and Kirklin, if you don't know, Daredevil Matt is primarily in New York. I know you
What?
probably
Hell's
you'd
Kitchen.
probably
Come
get that. I just feel like the what if scenario, the everything everywhere all at once scenarios I don't explain. You're like, well, why would Daredevil be in New
We
York?
retro. We know.
What?
We know. This.
Oh yeah, it's already done. I feel like Matt's gonna get. I don't know because he was in New York for Spider-Man, right? He helped Peter
Yeah,
there.
that's true, right? Yeah.
So like, why would he be? So it's either he needs to be in LA for a reason, or she needs to be there. I think he'll be in LA because if it fits with those rumors of his show, maybe looking for Jessica Jones. Maybe he's just going all over the globe and stuff like that. You know.
I mean, if they're
Yes.
sending Spider-Man to space, they can put a hero anywhere.
Definitely.
Why did Spider-Man come up?
I'm just saying, like, there's no limit to where a superhero can appear. I mean, if
That's
they put
fair.
Spider-Man on another planet, I mean, who knows? Bob's your uncle.
You're not wrong. I guess it's because like Spider-Man's a film with the Avengers. He's still superpowers. Matt's still just like a lawyer he was
Yeah.
trained very well.
We've
Yeah.
we've
Good
talked
lawyer.
about like like Hawkeye's kind of street level New York stuff as well. So I don't know. I just I was not expecting that, and I don't know if that just didn't come up in the first episode or if I just didn't catch it because when you're in just basic lawyer's office, it doesn't really. It's hard to tell which city you're in if you're in these.
We were in Mexico
skyscrapers.
for a long time. Too,
Yeah, that-
and
that
lots
too.
of stuff.
That's where Matt's gonna show up. He's on vacation and something happens. And
He's carving his name into the bar, the Bruce's bar.
DD. He's like, I don't even know who this guy is. He just showed up and messed at my bar. Every time someone goes to Bruce's bar, they gotta like scribble themselves and everything. But I did actually think we were gonna get our first tease of Daredevil in this episode when she was watching or like applying for all the like attorney jobs and stuff like that. I thought there was gonna be some sort of ad or something like that to do with Matt Murdock, but there was not. So we're still holding on to him, which is fine because we got lots of stuff to do. So
I thought that might have been it where she couldn't find a job in LA anymore because her name is kind of tainted there. So she goes to New York because maybe less people know of She-Hulk there and she could kind of find a job there or something like that. But alas, that is not what happened.
or just crazier stuff happens in New York that she can get away with it. You know, like they did just have in this world a portal open up and a bunch of spider people come out. So some weird stuff happens. Doctor Strange literally lives in New York. I feel like I would move. I
It's a
know
weird
people might.
place.
Yeah, I feel like people might pitch like, "Oh, that's why you live there, to protect you." But no, that's why you move. Like, there's probably some strange stuff happening there. His house just gets randomly
New
filled
York
with
has
snow
been
in the
attacked
summer.
several times. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tracksuit mafia. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
too.
that's the biggest one. Never mind Doctor Strange and Thanos.
They're
And
worse
like,
than rats.
Kingpin is around, you know.
exactly. Yeah, in his fucking Hawaiian outfit. I guess he's. Oh right, he's not in prison. He's just shot in the face right now. So,
Allegedly.
yeah, allegedly still alive. Allegedly shot in the face, but yeah. And then a line I really liked is when he's like, "Oh, he's giving her the pitch." I think his name's Holloway. I'll look it up later, but she's like, yeah, "The only thing is I gotta do is I have to have my paralegal." And just the line delivery from the actor, I really appreciate. She's like, why would I care at all about who your paralegal is? And then he just walked away. There's a few lines. There's one thing where he was like talking to his secretary and he's like, yeah, Scott, he didn't like cold places, right? She's like, no. And he's like, yeah, send him there. He'll like that. Like it kind of reminded me of some of the banter J.K. Simmons would have as J. Jonah Jameson, just that like, does he like coldness? No, I'll send him. It's just like, why is he being such a shit? Now, obviously, I think that's setting up the red flag as like she should be catching this stuff and maybe later on it'll get worse. But I actually didn't mind that the guy that hired her, because I thought right when he walked, I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna like this character, but I got some fun, twisted sense of humor from him, so I liked it. So
Holden Holloway, that was his name.
Holden.
Holloway. Okay, was I calling him Holloway or was I
You
calling
did.
him?
Yeah, you're doing it.
You
well.
dropped the Holden. but-
Did anyone notice the bartender looking in the camera at that scene? No, I did not. Which I was gonna say, she only broke the fourth wall once in this episode when she was talking to Holloway, so a little less than I was expecting, but that's okay.
No,
I
there's
think so.
another
I think it
time
was a
too
couple more
when
times.
there was
the completely different person line. She looks at the camera and does like a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I guess. Was it directly at the camera? Was it like looking the direction of
was-
the camera, or
yeah,
looking at the
100%.
camera?
Felt like
Oh,
she was
yeah.
reaching to me specifically.
I'll
She was
catch
like
that
nodding
tomorrow.
to the joke for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean,
Staring
two
at
of our
Edward
nicknames
Norton
are
in the
that, but
camera.
that line.
Mm-hmm.
What a great line. I don't know if we did we talk about that. Is that going to
Nope.
happen? Are they going to reference that? It's a great fourth wall breaking thing, but yeah, completely different person.
Literally.
It's an easy joke, but it landed so well. I really enjoyed that. It was really nice.
Yeah, they were dancing around it long enough. I was like, "Are they gonna do it?" And then he said the line, and then it's like, "Oh, nice." I was satisfied with that.
It's like they jump on like the very first thing Don Cheadle says is an event or an Iron Man. Whoa.
That's what he says?
Eat that Pikachu. Oh, man. You can go away, but that's a funny thing. With Don Cheadle, when he comes to Iron Man 2, he goes to Tony. He's like, I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on. And that was like a fun like eye wink to like the
Right.
the
right.
recasting. This was like, because it is fourth wall breaking, and even then it's not fourth wall breaking in the sense like how he delivers it. He's just like, I'm a completely different person. Literally, he's just talking about being like Smart Hulk. Like
Yeah,
in story it still works, but it was a fun, clever little thing. But Taylor, he was not calling from planet Earth.
Not
No,
from
and
Beach
this just oh my god.
Don't worry, you talk. I'll watch this person.
This just it makes me curious because now I think I was pitching 3 episodes of this season that he'd be appearing, and I feel like, okay, this is the second episode. Now I feel like we could have one more just kind of conclude or wrap up what he's up to in his adventure.
One more?
One more episode he'd be in,
You
yeah.
keep
'Cause I think
discounting this. No,
no, I think my initial pitch was like 3 episodes that he'd make an appearance in. I feel like that would be the case because now like he's gone off. And
How many YouTube accounts does this person have? Barty the Real, Bart Baby, and
It's a
Barty
classic
Bart?
Bart Simpson move. To
It
troll
really
multiple
is.
YouTube
But
accounts.
what are you doing if it's our time at 12:45? Just going to 3 separate YouTube accounts. Just oh my goodness, that's why you watch the YouTube
he's
version.
got
But
priorities. Oh, and there's Stoney
Sony
Simpson.
Simpson. What? Well, there goes
Don't,
another
don't
one
feed into
blocked.
them. This is exactly what they want. Don't
That's
feed
fair.
into
Yeah, we'll ignore you from now
Oh.
on. But no, but I feel like you were saying that last week, and I guess you're right in a sense. But I even said my counter was I feel like we're gonna get a lot of episodes where he just calls her. So I laughed that in this episode he literally just calls her and just hey,
Though that's
how's it
true.
going? And it's
That is
that
true.
reception is from space already too. So it's a good phone.
Yeah, he's got $1 million tech though, so he's
Until
set
they
up
like
there.
warp
he got-
drive, whatever that is, and then the
It does
reception
cut out there, yeah.
He's got $1 million tech, except when I rewatch this, because I rewatched the episode 3 times, I still don't understand why when Jen's like, can you make me a prototype? And he's like, no, I can't. He just right away, like, he doesn't give any reason. I even
Well, I think he
asked-
just says that it'll take a long time for it to happen. Like,
No,
it'll
he
take-
doesn't. He does. I've watched it 3 times with subtitles. He said it takes a long time to like get like you and the Hulk to be combined. But when she asked, "Can you make a prototype?" and he's like, "It was just set for me," and she goes, "Well, what about for me?" He's like, "I can't do that." He just says no, and he doesn't even give her a reason.
doesn't
No, he says
just
it took
no.
a while to like calibrate it to himself. I thought.
He does, but why won't he try again? Why won't he even try at all to like give her like anything? Like it's weird that he didn't give a reason. He just said no, I'm not doing it. I found it was weird that he just denied her.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I guess for the story's sake, like we don't need to go down that road since she can do
Yes, I know.
it by herself. So, but you're.
He just comes off
You're
as a
not
dick when I rewatched this twice. I'm like, yeah, why doesn't he? And I asked the Marvel Alliance guys, they're like,
You
yeah,
gotta
we
be
don't
Hulk
know
longer.
either.
You gotta be Hulk
Yeah,
longer.
you gotta feel it, man, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But Taylor, what do you think about him being out of space? Because obviously last week that was the setup to how he became Hulk. How he became Hulk was there's a spaceship in the background, crashed a vehicle, obviously the blood happened, everything like that. So what do you feel about now he's actually in space? Because he did say, oh, okay, it's a Sakaar ship, I gotta look into it. He's literally already on the hunt looking into it.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't look like there was anyone in the ship alongside him, so I take it as okay. He the ship just came here autopilot, whatever, and maybe this is just like there could be some ulterior motive here. Maybe it's some agreement he's set up with, the Sakarians, or it's just Sakaar.
Sakaar.
You have to
Sakarians
ask
sounds
them.
good.
Yeah,
Sakaar's okay.
Sakarians works. Yeah.
So maybe he just has this agreement, or maybe it helps him kind of keep regular Hulk at bay to balance this out. We're like, okay, yeah, every so often I got to go and do these battles, in this tournament. Who knows? And I can come back and just on my off time at Earth.
You think this Hulk can survive tournaments? Though I feel like he's not that much of a fighter smart Hulk.
He did have trouble with that Jeep in that last episode.
Yeah, he really did.
He's
Yeah.
got a device that makes him angry Hulk.
Yeah, he needs
can't
that.
share
He
it,
didn't
though.
want to break his Jeep, though. I mean, he
That's
wanted to
true.
keep it
I
intact.
respect that. There must be something going on then as to why. Like, I don't know. Were we gonna learn that in this show? I don't think so. I mean, like Clay mentioned in the chat, World War Hulk baby is how we put it. I think we'll get something maybe along those lines. So
You had to have the baby part there. You know?
yeah.
So you think we're, because in your opinion you said 3 appearances, so we have 2 of them. What is the third then? If we're not even dealing with this at all, I feel like we're.
I
gonna
think
get
right
some
now, like, well, we
resolution.
got closure off for the time being now with Hulk. So now we're gonna get into we're gonna have like Daredevil, we're gonna have Abomination, we're gonna be focusing into Jennifer Walters and just her new like career line, everything. I think we get Hulk, Bruce Banner returning in like the penultimate or the finale or something.
Wait,
like
so you
that.
think the Sakaar? Wait, sorry, you think the Sakaar storyline's over with then?
I think that if I don't know if they would bring that back and just have that parallel to Jennifer Walters' storyline. I feel like with She-Hulk, we already have so much that we need to tackle that I think the Sakaar storyline will be highlighted in the penultimate or the finale episode, and then that'll segue to the next Bruce Banner project.
I can't subscribe to just one more appearance. I think 2 to 3. Because I had one point said that I could see him being in every episode. I don't think that. I think they will give it a little bit of break. But I could see 2 to 3 more episodes on top of this. I don't see it just being just an end credit to set this up. But I guess in my mind, I still want him to interact with Blonsky. So maybe I'm being optimistic. But
I would love that.
I don't think it's fully done here. I don't feel like it's resolved. Like Bruce going into space, I feel like is a big thing. So I don't take that as like it's resolved. Like, oh, I guess that's the end of the story. It's like I do want to know. I don't need it in this show, but I do want to know kind of why he did go there a little bit.
Yeah, I guess it's always so ambiguous. Like, what can and can't they do with the Hulk IP right now in terms of solo stuff? But I don't know. I'm really getting the vibe that they're really wanting him to have his like own little side adventure here, and it is very minimal compared to She-Hulk, and we already have shorter episodes than we're used to. But I feel like this is going to be something that we're going to see in every episode. Like, get a little update on what he's doing there. Like, definitely not closing it off in one storyline in one episode. Like, maybe it'll take a few more at least. But I'm trying to think, like, from the trailers, I don't know if there's another scene that I can picture of Bruce back in LA or anything like that. So I could see like just getting updates on this. Now, I guess the thing is like if he warped away and he can't use his phone anymore to talk to her, are we going to get that, or is that just more like, oh, we're just showing you her perspective in the show? Hard to say, but yeah, I'm very curious on this because I feel like they've done it in 2 episodes now in very small ways each time that they're moving this storyline at a snail's pace. I don't really foresee them doing an episode that's like, here's Hulk's episode and he's doing his own thing for this whole episode.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very curious on this.
not
Like
Star
I still
Wars.
don't feel like I have much more information than I did last episode, but I'm certainly intrigued by what this is and what this is. Because you're right, Taylor. Like it definitely feels like setting up another project. I just don't know. I don't know where Hulk's going to show up next, so it's hard for me to
Right.
kind of envision the end goal that we're building towards.
Well, they're already talking about season 2 of this, but I do think Clay is right. Like, and these have been rumors for a while about the World. I can't never fucking say that World War Hulk story. It's just been a question of if it was going to be a movie or a TV show. And there was a rumor I can't remember when the exact date was, but it was like sometime in 2023 that they got like the rights back for films, so that would kind of
Okay.
time into it. But that's still all just C tier rumors right now, nothing too official or anything like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
Kirk, what do you think? How many times we seen Hulk? We getting this resolved here? We never seen him again. Like ever in the MCU, this is it. He just went missing and he's gone.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this series, I was in that camp. I thought we were going to be seeing him in basically every single episode. I thought he was going to be like a big part of the show, kind of like how he has been already. And I feel like those scenes that were shown in this episode of him on the Scarran ship and just like dipping somewhere, if that was placed like at the end of the series, it'd been like, okay, yeah, that's, or like the penultimate episode, it's like, okay, I'm not seeing him again. This is
Yeah.
leading into his next project. But the fact that it happens so early on is a little questioning. Like, it would be a weird thing to just have him like all over last week's episode, and then of course in here he gets a quick conversation with Jen, and then just dips, and then we just don't see him again. I feel like that would be kind of weird
For like 5 years, we're just like,
Yeah.
wonder what happened to Hulk, you know?
yeah,
And they just find a ship
exactly.
crash somewhere. We never get. It's just like Hulk's skeleton. We never get that answered.
Wow.
Like Mark Ruffalo
Killed
was like
off
holding him up.
screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's holding him up for a lot of money. Like we're not recasting again. Like let's just kill the Hulk. We got She-Hulk, you know. So
God, I hope that doesn't happen.
no, I don't think so.
But yeah, so I feel like if those scenes were placed elsewhere, I would have taken it a lot differently. But I am very curious if we're gonna be checking in on his story. It's funny, Travis, you brought up Star Wars. I wonder if these first two episodes would have done like really bad. We would have just got like a Hulk episode. They would just it's like, oh, we gotta save the show. Do like a Boba episode or Mando episode in the middle of Boba.
That's what we might get. There's gonna be a full 2 episodes of Hulk just on Sakaar looking for somebody, and everyone's going, "What happened to She-Hulk show?" I really liked. Now the good thing with Boba Fett, I didn't like that show, so I was happy when we left
Yeah.
Boba Fett. But with She-Hulk, I hope not, because yeah, I'm still. I thought today when she was talking about being lonely, I thought, oh, is this the Tinder episode? Just because I think that is just gonna be tons of fun and everything like that. But I feel like, and I was actually surprised that. I don't know why I wouldn't have thought that. I thought there was going to be a period where people would just know of She-Hulk and then figure out that's Jennifer Walters, but right away it's no. And I should have thought about that because she was in a courtroom and she turned into She-Hulk. I don't know why the second that happened I should have clicked in like, oh, they're going to know it's her. But just from like 2 minutes in, she's all over the news like, oh, she's She-Hulk and stuff like that. And I like when it's like the drawings look kind of similar to the end credit drawings of what they were describing and everything like that. We don't know what happened to that Titania villain type of character. We learned that she was like a social media influencer. So all right, yeah.
Yeah, superhero influencer. I'm curious on that because I still don't understand like why she's bursting through a wall. Like that part is
She
not
was in
really
traffic court,
explained.
right? So I guess she was just trying to like just get out of it.
Is that what was happening?
Getting
I think
that
that's what they
ticket?
said, right? Yeah.
Really? They said she's getting a ticket.
I heard traffic court. Like Tatiana was like in there for like traffic court or something like
Titania.
So
Titania.
she was like
Titania.
escaping by busting through the wall.
She's sending him a message. Just like, I can just park wherever I want, you know. It's very convoluted. I did learn something with things, you know, everyone look at our Discord, that I didn't know that apparently the episode last week was supposed to be like episode 7 or 8. Like they were going to hold off on the origin for quite a few episodes. But
That's
then
a
they swapped it.
big, interesting change. So
Yeah.
this was supposed to be our episode 1?
I think it was supposed to be a variation of 1 and 2 kind of combined, maybe some other stuff that they
You
took
get
out.
the
and things
origin,
like that.
right? But then you'd skip the. Trying to think about how that works.
I think you might get that, but it sounded like the whole origin was maybe gone. I'll have to clarify that was in the trailer. But I know they just like they moved a lot around in this show, which I think was smart because even when I rewatched it, the first thing she says like, "Oh, you know, you don't want to see this boring lawyer show." So maybe the beginning was just a lot of setup, like we thought was going to be like, "Oh, we meet Jen and then the superhero thing happens." But yeah, so now with this, I don't know when we're going to see Titania next. I don't know when she's necessarily going to have to go out and crime find. Origin was going to be the last episode. What the fuck
That's a
were they
bold
thinking?
choice. Maybe,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe they were just like, maybe it's like a test screening thing. Like they'd rather show off the show because they know the origin's going to be like, quote unquote, a slam dunk. You know, like they
Yeah.
don't need to test that. They don't need to worry about that. It's pretty solid. So instead, they're more curious on like, okay, what do people think about these new characters we're introducing and like the general, like actual attorney part of the show. Maybe that's what it is.
And I was going to ask you guys, do you think this was supposed to be Bruce's first appearance? Wow. See, I'm behind on the scooping game as far as it for She-Hulk and everything.
yeah.
But what do you guys think about for an actual antagonist or villain? Because obviously we've seen the trailer that she fights some criminals here and there, and there's been Titania. Do you think, because we talked about this, I feel like midway through Miss Marvel, we're like, oh, is there going to be a main villain, or is she just going to be, in New Jersey? And obviously there was a main villain, and I don't think that panned out for the show. Do you think that's eventually going to happen here, She-Hulk, or do you think stuff like the origin is going to be the last episode, where maybe it is just a slice of life type of show, and the problems is just the courtroom stuff? That's what I'm personally hoping for, but I'm not expecting that as what we've seen. There's always seems to be some sort of big bad reveal or something.
Well, don't we know it's like Frogman, like that guy?
I think
Like
he's
the
going to be
main
one
villain?
of her clients, Frogman.
Okay.
Yeah. But it would be bold
But
if he
also
was
the main villain.
Also
Yeah.
the main villain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that works. Like, she could have some fourth wall jokes of like, well, this is kind of stupid. What's this guy? Like, they already in this episode, the assistant was like, well, Hulk's name's pretty stupid too. Like,
Yeah.
they're kind of making fun of themselves at times. So, I don't know. I think something like that could work. Yeah, I don't know if you'll get like your one big villain. Where was that one shot in the trailer? Where it was like a bunch of different people with
The
powers.
Wrecking Crew. Yeah.
Yeah, like I definitely expect to see a few action scenes. Where we'll get some antagonists. I don't think it would be an abomination or something like that. But yeah, I'd be really curious to see. I'm gonna put my money on Frogman though. I think that he'll be your one like final fight or something like that.
Abomination isn't out of the picture though, where like if he is putting up a whole front and it doesn't go his way and he like snaps, I could see a reality where it's her versus Abomination. I don't think as big as the Harlem fight, but there is a chance that happens, because I feel like he still has to get on the Thunderbolts, and if he just gets a parole, maybe
That's
that is
true.
his parole. Maybe it is just you got to go do the Thunderbolts. But I feel like he might have to do something. Maybe this fighting in the Fight City, whatever it's called, is that. So
Fight City. Yeah.
Fight.
Fights
I don't
him
know
and
what it
Wong.
is. Fight City. I was grabbing out of air. I had no idea. Fights Wong. Yeah, he actually has the last copy of the Darkhold from Multiverse. He's like,
It was me all along.
yeah. What about you guys? Any sense of a big villain, or you think it's not going to happen?
I mean, like you said, Travis, I would prefer if that wasn't the case. I feel like the show, the formula that it already like has on paper is very different from other shows in the past. So why not be even more different and not have like the formulaic big bad at the end that our villain has to fight? Because I feel like the breadcrumbs that they're laying out, like you don't have to have that at all. Like you could just have her dealing with her courtroom stuff, or again just finding like her own identity of this new superhero and what it means to balance work life, social life, all those other things combined. But at the same time, like we have that Tatiana, what was that her name?
Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have that character who did not have like a satisfying conclusion, so I'm sure they'll be back. And
Oh no! Wait, no. Tatiana Maslany is the actress who plays She-Hulk. Titania is the villain.
Titania, thank you.
Yeah. I should have
Just
corrected you
fighting
the whole
herself.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tatiana.
That'd be a real fourth wall break. She's fighting like the actor playing herself.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That would be. She'd find her. Yeah. Look at that. That's got some gold, I think, there.
Now, I have a question before we keep going, just because I know we're getting near the end of the stream. Cal Fornina Life says, it was a very decent second episode, no complaints, but several questions need to be asked. Now, I imagine the Hulk space one. I want to know what the other questions are. I'm not saying this in a wrong way. I want to know, you said several. What are the other ones? I can think of that. Is Blonsky shitting us? Those are like the
Well,
two.
they
I
say
can
several
think of.
questions need to be asked, not answered. They
That's
just
true.
Need to be asked.
What do we need to be asking, Life? That's what I want to know. What should we be asking that we're missing here and everything like that? But yeah, Tim Roth was really chewing the scenery. Yeah, 100% here. Taylor, go ahead, Dylan.
Well, yeah, I was just a couple other notes I had. I mean, one, Tatiana Maslany, you mentioned
Yep.
her. She's fantastic. Like, she just has so much charisma. She's so funny in the moments when she's like down in the dumps, feeling depressed. Like, she's so good in those moments too, in terms of, I mean, like the comedic element, but also just like I have so much sympathy for her. I loved the sequence with her family. I thought that was a lot of fun, and particularly her dad is a fun character. Seems like he's like the one grounded character. The rest of them are all just kind of a mess and just not good for her mental health, but she's doing it for family. But her dad seems like a good dude. And yeah, she's just so much fun. Like, I think it's tough too, because Miss Marvel, we also loved him on there in that role, but it's like the show just really was not supporting her in the way that so she could rise above. But I mean, I just love this actress. I think she's doing so great here. So yeah, I just wanted to shout her out again.
And no, you're absolutely right. I think she's great. I'm very excited for her to start cross pollinating with the other
Yes,
world and team.
definitely.
Like that's gonna be a good thing. But we also got to meet Ched in this episode. Do you guys remember who Ched was?
Do
So
I
la-
remember him?
Well, it was like
Has he been
the
around
cousin,
before?
right?
Yeah, but last week, she made a joke, but like, oh, I'm not the only genius in the family. He's like, well, there's also Ched, and I really
right.
liked that line. And I was wondering if we'd ever meet Ched, and we did. He's about to become a Best Buy manager, so apparently he's the other
yeah.
genius in the family. So I wasn't sure, like when he said that comment, Bruce, I wasn't sure if it was a sarcastic one or there was an actual other family member there that was going to be a smart character. But no, clearly Bruce was having some fun at Ched's expense and stuff like that. I like when in the end credits she puts that up. He's like, I could have done that, and she just gives him this look and stuff. Like, I'm liking Ched. I don't know. I shouldn't be, but I'm liking Ched. And he doesn't need to be in every episode. It's fine. But let's see. Do I have?
I'll just
There was
chime in. Oh,
What are you chiming in on?
I just want to chime in on the villain aspect of the show.
Do it.
I personally don't want us to kind of get into a specific villain for this show. I like where we're kind of heading now, and I think that's definitely the trope for all these MCU shows where we get that rival villain character just kind of like meet their match, and I don't need that this time
He-Hulk?
around. He-Hulk, yeah. Jesus.
That's when Shed gets the powers.
Oh no! She like cuts herself on the TV, and she's like, "Whoa, what's happening?"
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need like any specific villain. I like where they're going now with just her trying to crack the case. I don't mind if there's some shady things going on with the company that she's working for, and just some like
We know
bullshit she
Taylor's
needs to
life.
overcome.
I don't mind if there's shady things with this company.
Oh yeah, just kind of like mediocre stuff. Nothing super granular, but overall, I like
Granular.
great-
Is that a word?
granular. Yeah,
We-
I like just
that's a word at 1 a.m.
It is. I'm making it a word now. Yeah, just keep going on the trajectory they're going, and I don't need any major villain. Yeah.
Yeah, my last note, I was just gonna say I like this conversation she was having. I can't remember who's her paralegal, her buddy there. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know
Nikki.
her name,
It's
but she's
Nikki.
Nikki.
I like when she was like, "Oh, you should be an Avenger." She's like, "Does Avengers come with healthcare or like a pension?" And that's just like stuff. It's like real world stuff where it's like that's what I talk about when I do my job. Like, oh, this has a pension. This has like all these like adulting things and stuff. I like she was listing off like the realistic reasons of why not to be a superhero. And as Taylor's name looked like, at one point, it looks like she's just going to give up not being a superhero, but also not being a lawyer and just being a mascot and working at other places and stuff like that. So, life has some really good questions here. Well, was Bruce Smart Hulk going to Sakaar to see his son while on the ship? Was Blonsky being deceitful or sincere? You can go back. We talked about that. Where does Hawkeye get his arrows, and how do you?
I like that bit.
Fight? Yeah,
like that bit.
where did he get his arrows? That's true. That
Very
comes a
dangerous
question.
to leave those around.
Yeah, there's tons of them everywhere. So you know what, Life, you're right. The dad had a lot of questions that needs to be answered and asked again. So
See his son? What's up? Can you tell me about this? Hulk seeing his son? Is that a thing?
yeah.
Is there a rumor that he has a son kicking out there?
He has a son in the comic books, and he's tied to Sakaar, and I think that's the route we're going.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Damn,
that's
I
what
wish
it
I
is.
didn't know that.
I try to protect you. You brought it up, and Clay brought up
No,
earlier.
I know it's in the cards, but that's too bad.
And that's my last thing. But it's not confirmed. But there is precedent for that character. But who knows? Maybe it's just the love he meets. Who knows what it might be? But you never
He
know.
I'm gonna
Hulk.
delete that from my brain.
He Hulk's coming.
He Hulk's coming, baby. Season 2
Baby
She Hulk,
Hulk.
She Hulk, and He Hulk. And then the third season We Hulk. So
We are
Yeah.
Hulk, yeah.
Anything else?
There was that one like douchebag lawyer that she was working with last episode, and then at the beginning of this episode, he like comes up to her. It's like, oh, way to like really pull out the superhero card to like boost your own publicity. And then he drops the line. He's like, oh, there's a hot chick over there. I'm gonna go talk to it. When he said that line, I like laughed out loud because of just like how fucking ridiculous that was. It was
He
just
guy's
like
a piece of garbage.
yeah, exactly. Like the most far to that spectrum of character, and he just like he was already like being that way in like the last episode, and then here he just like dropped that line. It's just like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here? Who talks like that? Hilarious.
There's a couple good one-liners like that. Well, one I didn't like the one where the guy gave her the map to like pooping or something like that.
That was
I was
adorable.
Was it
Adorable.
I did not like
yeah.
that
Oh
joke
yeah,
at
I think
all.
I feel like in big cities and stuff like that, it's like best bathrooms are like a big thing when it's definitely not accessible everywhere. So to know where you can go to take like the best bowel movements, I think that's a big thing in the big city.
Wow, I never thought about that.
You know,
That was
I
fun.
do you think he was like a? Is it like an extra big toilet so that when she's in She-Hulk form?
I hope
That's
so.
the idea. It's
it
for
might
like the
be.
superheroes in the building, like they can all go there and do their business.
Now
There's
that
weird
just
frog slime everywhere, and like.
Ooh.
I was
all
gonna say
steamy.
that just begs the question. I've never really walked in the washroom like how is the size of this toilet, but I guess that's stuff you got to look out for when you live in a world with the Hulk, right? You know,
Yeah.
so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And then I liked it at one point too in the interview. The guys in the news, they're like, "Oh," and then she turned into like a Hulk-like person, and she had it going on. And then he goes back to telling his story. It was just like a quick little thing, but yeah, they have some good little moments in here and stuff. So I laugh at most of them except for the poop joke. I didn't need the poop joke there. So
Fair enough.
anything else on episode 2 of She-Hulk?
There was one moment in her office where there's a TV in the background and it has like what's the office she works for? It's like GLKH or something
Mhm.
like that. But like the way that it's written on the TV, it's actually like the exact same font of like the old logo with like that original slash in there. It just like
Mhm.
really stood out to me. If you rewatch, look out for that. But
Is that the old logo or the new logo or the one in between?
I think it's
the
the old
Hulk
logo.
or the She-Hulk logo. You mean?
the She-Hulk logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't-
at
I
one
don't
point
think
it
it's the
was
That's
new
a
like
one.
deep
that.
cut right there.
Yeah, look, because at one point the first She-Hulk logo was not like that, and then I think the second one was like the one you're talking about, and now they have a third one. Just
Okay,
can't
then it's
decide.
probably the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Because
Well,
it's definitely not the new one.
no.
In the last episode, you mentioned that at one point in Hulk's place, he's got like his helmet somewhere. And when I rewatched the episode, I like didn't see it. So that you got some keen eyes, man.
Oh
Like a
yeah,
Hawkeye
always
over there.
watching.
Must be that 4K TV. You get like more detail or something.
What do you LFIC? You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we did it. We will be back next. Yeah, we'll be back next week. I was thinking about because I remember Lord of the Rings.
It's like
is
we're
next
taking
week.
next week off. We're
No,
gonna
no, no.
skip
I
that
remember Lord of
episode.
the Rings, but technically that's Thursday night, and then we do Wednesday. With Andor, She-Hulk, and Lord of the Rings all being like 3 days in a row, I'm definitely gonna get confused a few times. But you know what? That's why I follow our social media because that won't get confused. Hopefully, but hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode. We'll be back next week.